everybody, it's Ellen and I'm here today to do my February book haul. Now I know I said that I wasn't going to buy any more books this month, but I did. I just did. If you want to see my book outlet unboxing that I did earlier this month, I will leave that in a link below and you can go check that out if you're interested in other books that I got this month besides this huge pile that I have right here. So let's just get started. So some of the books that I got brand new, and some of them I got secondhand at like used bookstores or thrift stores. So it's like a pretty even split, I'd say. The first book I got is called Memoirs of a Dutiful Daughter. Dutiful? Dutiful? I don't know. And this is by Simone de Bouvoir. I got this one because I'm a women's studies major, and so I have read or I have heard of Simone de Beauvoir's more popular works, and I had never heard of this one here, and so I thought maybe it would be an interesting addition to my women's studies feminist book collection. It says here that it's the first volume of a great autobiography, so this will be really interesting to see what her life was like. This image is really interesting as well. And clearly this book I got secondhand. It is like old as Methuselah here. It's a pretty old book, but I think it'll be really nice to have. I'm thinking of probably doing a video about my women's studies major and kind of what I like about it, where I plan to go with it, and then also I want to talk about some of the more influential books that I've read while being a women's studies major and taking all these really interesting classes. So I want to do a video about that because I think that'd be really interesting. The next book I got is Dear Life by Alice Munro, and this one is a collection of stories. I have never read anything by Alice Munro, but I really want to get into her writing because I hear she's quite good, and I think this is going to be a good place to start because it's short stories, so I'm really excited about this one. This next book I actually had never heard anything about, and it is called The Apothecary by Maile Meloy. Yeah, I don't have no idea what this is about. So this book takes place in 1952, and it looks like it is about this family that travels from Los Angeles to London, and they're looking for a cure for homesickness, is kind of what it seems like. And they run into this apothecary, but he's no ordinary apothecary. He's got some sort of secret magic or something up his sleeve. So this kind of seems like an interesting book. I think that I will like it. The next book I got is called Reboot, and this one is by Amy Tintera. So this is an interesting sci-fi book. I have seen this a couple times on Book Outlet, but then I actually saw it in a secondhand bookstore, and I was like, why don't I just go for it? So I did. And it says here on the front, 5 years ago I died, 178 minutes later I woke up. And the premise of this is that people who die and then come back to life are called reboots, and the longer that they are dead for, the less human they are when they come back. So that seems like a really interesting thing, and it sounds like the main character was dead for quite some time. So I think I will like this little sci-fi book here. So the next book I got is called Unnatural Creatures, and these are stories selected by Neil Gaiman. And the reason why I got this one is because I was visiting my boyfriend, and I had brought a couple books with me that I thought I might be interested in reading, but they were all contemporary, and for most of this month I have only wanted to read contemporary. I have been just like really not interested in reading like science fiction or fantasy. I've been trying to like get into Mistborn so much, and I just like am not in the mood for it, and so I was like, I'm not going to be in the mood for fantasy when I go visit him. I'll just bring contemporaries. And then as soon as I got there, I was just craving some fantasy. I don't know what it was. I was just like, I have to read fantasy. I have to read some cool Neil Gaiman stuff. And so I went to a bookstore and I got this. So this one is a bunch of different authors wrote stories about unnatural creatures, or some like really interesting creatures that are fantastical, and just really, I'm really excited to see all the creatures that this, brings to light. Also, this cover is absolutely stunning. Just stunning. I can't even, and it's, that's upside down. And it's Neil Gaiman, and so, well, he's collected them, and he wrote some of those stories in here, or at least one. And so I couldn't pass it up, so I went for it. I read a couple of the stories in here, and they satisfied my craving for fantasy, so that is good. Yes. Alright, these next three books I got are in a series, and they are Across the Universe, A Million Suns, and Shades of Earth, and these are all by Beth Revis. I got these three books because I have been hearing all the time about how awesome this series is, and I just really want to get into it and see what all the hype is about, but I didn't want to get mix-matched covers, which sounds so ridiculous, but I know there was a cover change like halfway through, but I ended up getting all the same, like the new covers, even though I don't love them. I mean, they're fine. I like the other ones better, but I just wanted them to be the same. Is that so wrong? Next up, I have Just One Day by Gayle Forman, another book by Gayle Forman that I have not read. Like these ones back here. Where are they? I have If I Stay and Where She Went, also books by Gayle Forman that I have not read, but that's okay. This one looks really interesting. It says anything can happen in just one day. So this one is a book about love, which I really enjoy. It sounds like our main character, Allison, falls in love with this boy who sort of brings her out of her comfort zone and gets her to kind of leave her plan behind and sort of go and be spontaneous with him, which seems like a really cool, interesting plot. And I'm really looking forward to this one. This next one is called Out of the Easy by Ruta Sepetys, and this one is by the same author as Between Shades of Grey, which I have right back here. This one is about a girl named Josie, and just like it says here, she wants to get out of this brothel called the Big Easy. She is a prostitute, but she has dreams to go to college and have a new life for herself, and so this is her story of trying to get out of this life that she is not enjoying. This next book is Looking for Alaska by John Green. I have not read this one yet, and I am really looking forward to it because I love John Green's writing. And this is a short little book. I didn't realize it when I picked it up, but this is definitely a tiny little read. So I'm hoping to get this one soon because it is so short, and I've heard so many good things. A lot of people say that this is their favorite John Green book, so I'm curious to see if this one will be something that I'm interested in as well. Next up, I have This Dark Endeavor by Kenneth Oppel. Another book by, I talked about this in my last, maybe it was 2 hauls ago. It was when I got The Boundless by Kenneth Oppel. I talked about how he is an author that I read when I was really young. He wrote the Silverwing series, which is to this day one of my favorite series. It's about bats, and it's really, really good. It's middle grade, but I read it again recently and still loved it, so definitely check it out. This one is actually about Frankenstein, the character who built the creature, or created the creature, the story by Mary Shelley. So this is about Frankenstein, who is the doctor who did that. And I really love Frankenstein, so I'm very excited to see where this one goes with it, because I thought he was such a complex character, and I wanted to know so much more about what was going on in his head, why the heck he did what he did, and sort of where it got him in life. Actually, I wanted to know more of like his backstory, so I am so excited. I mean, obviously this is just like one person's rendition about it, but I think this is just like a really cool idea, so I am looking forward to it. This next book is called Carly's Gift, and this is by Georgia Bockoven, and this one seems really interesting. I am drawn in easily by a picture of like a mother and a child, or a baby on the cover, because I just think that's adorable, and I like when babies are in stories because they're so cute. So this is about a woman named Carly, and she leaves this man that she's with named David to protect him for some reason. It doesn't really go into details on the back, but I think I will find out when I read it. And she ends up being the mother of 3 in this relationship that's okay, but not incredibly satisfying. And then one day David comes back, and this is sort of just how they reconnect and what happens with that relationship. So I think that this will be a good story, a nice love story, I'm hoping. And I think that this will be nice. This actually looks a lot like the cover of My Enemy's Cradle. Oh, I can't remember the author of that book, but it's a story taking place during World War II, and one of my favorite World War II stories ever. I'll leave a link to the Goodreads page below if I can find it. But the cover kind of looks similar. I don't think the story is at all similar, but the cover kind of is. Next, I have Attachments by Rainbow Rowell. I have read 2 books by Rainbow Rowell so far. I read Fangirl, which I absolutely loved. It was so good, one of my favorite books of all time. And then I read Landline by her, and honestly, it was not that great in my opinion. I still like her writing style, and like I said, the characters were good, but the storyline was just meh. So this is another one of her adult novels, and I have high hopes for it. I still am rooting for Rainbow Rowell because everybody loves her so much, and I just think that this hopefully this one will be better than the last one. But so I am looking forward to that. This one's also a very short little book, so I'm thinking I could just fly through this one in a couple sittings and see if she is redeemed in my head, because I really hope she is. I really want to love this book, I do. And last but not least, I got Flowers in the Attic, and this is by V.C. Andrews. This book, I haven't read it, but I've heard some crazy things about it. It's a lot of incest. And so I was hesitant to get it, but also very curious. I'm not going to lie to you. It's about forbidden love, and I'm intrigued. I have heard that this is actually a lot of people's favorite book, and also a book that just is like crazy and like kind of blows your mind in a weird way. But yeah, I really am excited to read this one. Weird to admit, but I'm very excited to read this one. I want to see kind of what everybody's talking about. So that's it for my book haul this month. All of the books I will have linked their Goodreads pages down below in case you want to go check any of them out. Let me know if you have read any of these books and what you thought of them, which ones I should read next, which ones I should put at the top of the list, which ones I should maybe put to the lower on my list. I'd love to hear from you guys. As always, leave any video suggestions in the comments below, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye!